Today we are going to talk about troubleshooting the instruments and looking at the log files in AVANET. Sometimes error occurs, either when you start measurement or during measurement. Often the cause is wrong settings in the instrument, so it could be a valuable thing to know how to get more information about the errors. In this project here, we can see that we have lines with instruments that are marked with red and yellow. Here, red means an error and yellow means warning. This error indication stays active for 24 hours or until a new event occurs that cancels the first error. For example, if you get a self-test error, it will be cleared the next time you get an OK self-test. So here in our project, we want to get an overview of our errors. That is most easily done by clicking Add Columns here and scroll down to the column Error List. I'm going to mark it and click Add. Then I'm going to click OK. And here we can see that we get a column with the error list in on each instrument. I thought we were going to start talking about self-test failure. So I'm going to look at instrument 8519 here first. And here we can see that we have a self-test failure on channel 1, 2 and 3. But we want to know more about the self-test failure. So we're going to open the log events. And here we see everything the instrument says and talks to AVANET. So we're going to find our self-test failure either by searching, or here I can see them already. You can see that we have a peak level at 32,000 here. An OK self-test should lie about 16,000, and a high value as this means a cable break. So either you have no geophones mounted on the channels, or we have a break in the cable to the geophones. The most common cause is that you have more channels active in AVANET than you have actual geophones connected to the instrument. So that is easily corrected by deactivating the channels, so you have the correct amount. If we go back to our overview here and look at instrument 8587, we can see that we have another self-test failure, all channels inactive. That simply means that when you try to start the measurement, you have no channels active in AVANET. So that is also easily corrected by just activating the correct amount of channels in AVANET under each channel. So here you can see that channel 1 is active. Here on this instrument, we can also see that we have a warning, trig data lost. And to avoid overload and ensure that the instrument can handle all collected measurement data, the number of trigger events permitted in a specific time is limited. Normally the AVA trace can trigger repeatedly 3 times in direct succession before the instrument pauses for triggering for a few minutes. If a new triggering occurs during this pause, the instrument will report triggered data lost, as we can see here. This peak value and waveform will not be available for the user. However, the instrument continues to record periodic values during this pause. So to avoid this error or warning, it could be good to look over your trigger level on the instrument. If you have set it too low, you can get too much values, and it can be an idea to set it higher. If we go back to our overview and look at instrument 8568, we can see that we have an error that says SMS alarm message could not be sent. This indication is generated when the instrument tries to send an SMS, but for some reason fails. We cannot see any more information why it fails. But if you had used the alarm group alarms, we could get much more information on the error. So we prefer that you use the alarm groups in AvaNet. If we open the log events for this instrument, we can see that with each connection to AvaNet, we get a signal quality post here in the logs. I thought we were going to talk about what these numbers mean. RSSI means signal strength. It ranges between 0 and 31, where 31 is the best reception. And then we have a BER, which is an error rate, where 0 is the best. These two components, the AvaTrace, weighs together to form the signal quality, as we can see here. The range is between 1 and 3, where 3 is the best. This is also represented by the instrument LEDs on the panel. So when the LEDs are lit, it indicates the signal quality. The signal quality can be a good place for troubleshooting when the instrument won't connect to AvaNet. So if you have a bad reception earlier, it can be an indication that's why the instrument won't connect to AvaNet. If we go back to our overview here and look at instrument 7004, we can see that we have a calibration alert. This simply means that the instrument is due for a calibration shortly. If you want to know exactly when the calibration is due, we're going to add a column that is called next calibration. I'm going to scroll down here. There it is. Mark it and click add. And a new column occurs, shows us when the calibration date is set. If you see a warning for unexpected termination on an instrument, you should contact Ava support for more information. Thank you. That's all from me today.